Hi everyone! Welcome back to English Fab, where learning English is practical, useful, and fab. Have you ever heard someone say happen to in a conversation and wondered what it really means? Many English learners struggle to understand how to use this phrase naturally. Is it for coincidences? Can it make questions more polite? How is it different from by chance? If you've ever been confused about this, you're not alone. In today's lesson, we'll break it all down. We'll go over the different ways to use happen to, including unexpected events, polite questions, possibilities, and more. This lesson follows the grammar introduced on our English Fab website, so you can review the key points anytime. If you find English difficult, don't worry. You can translate the subtitles into English and your own language like this. Check the description below for extra details. So let's get started. In this section, we'll explore 5 key ways to use happen to with clear examples. Let's get started. 1. Talking about unexpected or coincidental events. We use happen to when something occurs by chance or unexpectedly. Example: I happened to meet an old friend at the airport. This means I wasn't planning to meet my friend. It just happened by chance. Another example: she happened to find a great restaurant while walking around the city. This structure makes it clear that something was unexpected, but fortunate. 2. Asking questions politely. Using happen to can make questions sound softer and more polite. This is useful when asking for information, especially from someone you don't know well. Example: do you happen to know where the nearest ATM is? This is much politer than just saying, where is the nearest ATM? Another example: would you happen to have a pen I could borrow? It's a nice way to ask for something without sounding too direct. 3. Expressing possibilities or hypotheticals. We use happen to when talking about something that might happen, but we're not sure. Example: if you happen to see Tom, tell him I said hi. This means you're not sure if the person will see Tom, but if they do, they should pass along the message. Another example: if you happen to be in town next weekend, let's grab lunch. This suggests a possibility rather than a firm plan. 4. Adding emphasis to a statement. We also use happen to emphasize opinions or facts strongly. Example: I happen to love spicy food. This adds extra emphasis and makes the statement stronger. Another example: he happens to be one of the best players on the team. This highlights a fact that might surprise others. 5. Softening a statement to sound less direct. Sometimes happen to helps make a statement sound more polite or indirect. Example: she happens to be very talented at singing. This sounds softer and more polite than just saying, she is very talented at singing. Another example: I happen to think this is a great idea. It's a way to express your opinion without sounding too forceful. Now that we've covered the different ways to use happen to, let's go over some important tips to help you use it naturally in conversations. 1. Structure happen to plus base verb. The verb that follows happen to should always be in its base form. Correct: I happen to know the answer. Incorrect: I happen to knowing the answer. So remember, after happen to, always use the simple verb without extra endings. 2. Happen to versus by chance. Both phrases have a similar meaning, but happen to is more natural and conversational. Example: I happen to find this book. Sounds natural in everyday English. Meanwhile, by chance is more formal or old-fashioned. Example: I found this book by chance. While both are correct, happen to is what native speakers usually say in casual conversation. 3. Negative form, don't happen to. To say something doesn't happen by chance, use don't happen to. Example: I don't happen to have my wallet with me. This is a polite way to say you don't have something. It sounds softer than saying I don't have my wallet. 4. Question form. Do you happen to? Use do you happen to when asking for information politely. Example: do you happen to have an extra pen? This is much more polite than just saying, do you have a pen? Other examples: do you happen to know what time the meeting starts? Would you happen to have any recommendations for a good restaurant? This structure is useful for polite, natural conversations. 5. Practice common phrases with happen to. To get comfortable with happen to, try practicing these common phrases. I happen to hear your favorite song on the radio. She happens to be a great cook. If you happen to see him, let me know. Great job! Now you know how to use happen to for unexpected events, polite questions, possibilities, emphasis, and indirect statements. The best way to master this phrase is to practice. Try using happen to in your daily conversations. It will help you sound more natural and confident in English. Okay, thanks for watching today's lesson on English Fab. I hope you found these English tips useful and feel more confident. Remember, practice makes perfect, so try using these phrases in your daily conversations. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more Fab English lessons. Until next time, keep practicing and stay Fab!